Hello and welcome to July 2024. I am Emma Purple, and this video is looking back at June and reviewing how life has been so far and looking forward into the new month and sharing my goals. Apart from that, I'm going to be rambling a little about the stuff that has been going through my head, and this thing right here is kind of like a therapeutic thing that I do where I have a little pit stop and I look back and I try to understand life. The long and short of June 2024 is that time doesn't seem enough for me. Like, I wake up in the morning and I am scrambling for time. Like, a lot of the time, no pun intended, we do not really regard the resource that time really is, especially when I was much younger and I hadn't gotten a job yet, and it just seemed as if there were hours and hours of the day and I couldn't do stuff to feel it enough, and it just felt exhausting. But now it's like the opposite, where the minutes I have is limited and I'm just trying to achieve stuff. For my writing has really suffered. I try my very best, but it looks as if I have to make some conscious decisions and then leave some things out. I was thinking throughout June and I was like, even if I was in a relationship, how would I manage to squeeze that into this limited time that I have? And that's a funny thought, but yeah, even when that time comes, and even when I get to the phase where I'm a mom and I'm a wife and I have more responsibilities added to the one I have right now, you see that there is a way that you're gonna push through it. And that's the wonderful and terrifying thing about life, because the container looks so small and you don't really know how much you can cram into it. And when I say container, I mean physically, emotionally, spiritually, everything. Ali, you feel as if you have a limited measure that you can take, but sometimes life comes and then it punches you in the face unexpectedly with more responsibility, and you just have to find somewhere, you have to stuff it in, like the verse that says, full measure, press down, shake it together and running over. But the thing that is running over is responsibilities and trying to make sense of the world. And that's the long and short of it. This has been not just June, but my life so far has been a very strange time for me. I can't really go into the details, but so much realizations. My eyes have been opening up to so much, and will I say I'm jaded? Not really jaded, but I have a realization, and that realization, I'm going to be very vague intentionally, but I'll try to make some meaning out of it. And the realization is that a lot of the things that you thought were norms, when you see the hidden aspect of it, it's so tempting to want to discredit the entire thing, and then it's so tempting for you in your disillusionment to become passive, to become nonchalant and not even want to put any effort. And it's so wonderful that even before this whole realization came about, I was reading 1 Corinthians something. You guys know how I am with Bible verses. If I don't write it down, it's not going to stick. So I was reading somewhere and it was talking about examining yourself, and I was examining myself a lot. And even in the midst of all that realization, the takeaway that I have in June is to stay true, not just to myself, but to the word and to God. Like, when you see the counterfeit and when you see the original, instead of just saying, oh, everything is fake and everything has a selfish intent, and oh, it has an appearance of purity, but initially in its core it is corrupted. Instead of letting that outrage, and yeah, we can be outraged to see that something that should be presented as pure is corrupted, but instead of letting that outrage to cause us to either lower our standard or lose regard for the original thing, like in that moment you have more value for the original. And for original, it is me trying to push into the word and to live my life in a way that is pleasing unto God, to connect myself to what is truth, what is really truth in the midst of everything that has an agenda and has an ulterior motive in the back. I know that was very vague, but yeah, that's all I can say. since I'm posting this and like 5 people are going to watch it. Anyway, for July, oh my gosh, I really want to make headway in my writing. I haven't made any headway in May Miscellanies. I haven't made any headway in A Quest for Xylem. I want to do that. The whole thing about me praying that I could get a source of income is that I could fund these dreams and actually push them forward. But now that God has been blessing me in that way, time, it seems as if there is not enough time, but I have to try to make time. Like I don't have a kid right now. I don't have like a husband to take care of, but it seems as if time is not enough, but I have to make that time, honestly. And something else that has been going on in my mind is how short life is. I was talking with someone and I was asking the person how often they think of death, and I know that's something very morbid, but I think we ought to think about it because it is certain. It's one of the most certain things in this world. And as much as the topic can be depressing, it can also be very invigorating because you know that because you have an end, you're working towards it. Like as a writer, I always have the end of my story in my goal, and because I know that that end is there, this is the conclusion of the story. I am pushing my characters to that point. I've been thinking, and I hope that most people think like I do, and wonder if you are prepared. If today was the last day in this earth, what would you do? What would be the thing on your mind? Would it be Christ? Would it be your faith? Would you look back in regret and say, oh, I would have done everything differently? Or you're like, I'm good. And what I aspire to and how I want to live my life is that I want to be ready at any moment. I don't want to have any regrets, not from a selfish perspective, but from a heavenly perspective, to know that everything that I was brought to this earth to do, I did it unto the glory of God. And as I am saying all this, I'm not talking about ambition. There was a time that I used to be so driven by an ambition, and I want to be great, I want to be great. And in the midst of all the revelations and the truths that God has been opening my eye to in this season, like I'm coming to understand that you can't be great, quote unquote great, in the small place that you find yourself. Like it's okay to be mediocre, it's okay to be normal, it's okay that you're a stay-at-home mom and you have 2 kids and you don't have enough income to have the ideal life, but you're doing all of that in truth and in sincerity. And it's okay that, yeah, I am not in the place that I imagined to be, but what I'm driving towards and what I am striving towards, with the knowledge that time is limited, is to do everything in truth and to do everything in a way that gives glory to God. I've been reading the Gospels recently and looking at the life of Jesus. Jesus is such an interesting character. Like his personality is so unique because he has 2020 vision on his goals and he doesn't even divert his attention anywhere. And that's the kind of attitude that Jesus Christ has that I want to have. Like I want to look at life at face value, even in the disappointing situations, even in the less than ideal situations. And I want to walk in joy. I don't want to live in a lie that, oh, I am going to make things into an ideal, but I want to live in a reality that even in this less than ideal situation, like I can see the glory of God. Like I can live in a way that gives God's glory, that stands in truth, that shows godliness and righteousness and holiness, that exalts the name of God. So I managed to ramble, but I hope I could get my point across. I hope I could let you guys into what was working in my head throughout June and what I am trying to work through as I enter July. I have a lot of content on my channel. I have been posting a lot. I have been creating a lot of videos and having so many ideas. I wish you guys could see my to-do lists, and I am hoping that I could achieve all of that before August, because August is when I will be going on my break. So thanks for watching and see you in the next video. Bye.